Greetings, Star Citizens. It's an exciting day at ILW 2951, as today Tumbril, MISC, and Crusader takes over the hall. And as you can see, we're greeted by the Crusader Hercules Starlifters as soon as we get up to the Bevix main hall. Before I get in, I just want to remind you guys that I am not a starship expert. I am just a guy who likes starships and likes Star Citizen. So please take my advice as strictly for entertainment purposes only. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at these Starlifters. As a huge Crusader fan myself, I was really looking forward to this day. And I must say the hall looks beautiful. Loaded with Starlifters. I mean, look at this. And in the middle, you have the Tumbril Nova tanks. Tumbril's partnered up with Crusader, and if you see the latest commercial, you can see that they've teamed up for their ad campaign. And it looks pretty good, as most Star Citizen campaigns usually do.
We don't defend them through sheer size or firepower alone. We ally ourselves with those who share our core beliefs. We make sure the real hero...
So back to the Starlifters. We've got the C2 to the right, which is the civilian version. We've got the M2, which I always get confused with the A2, which is in the center, but the M2 to the left is the militarized version. It's got more armor on it and a front turret that you can see right under the nose. And then way in the back, you've got the A2 with the black and red paint job. So, pretty much all the Starlifters, they look pretty much the same on the bottom as far as the bay goes. They can carry about 3 Nova tonks in here. So if you're not carrying just tanks, you can carry a ton of other vehicles and cargo. So these are the first ships to really challenge the Caterpillar as far as cargo running goes. But they take it another level up with their ability to carry vehicles. These ships also maneuver very well for their massive frame. They go very fast in a straight line and maneuver pretty well for a large vehicle. I really enjoy flying mine, and I recommend, if you can, to rent one of these and give it a shot. However, the pricing leaves a little bit to be desired. I'm not sure I'd recommend buying anything but a C2 and using that to earn the other two in-game. And these are the Nova tanks, or tonks, depending on who you talk to. Seems like tonk has become the popular way to say these. I was kind of down on these, but it looks like they're a lot of fun to have in the verse. You have that huge size 5 cannon, which is devastating, and a turret on top. These look like they're really good for team gameplay, and you have a pretty nice interior in here. Can be crewed by 3 people. I just can't say enough about the Nova tank. I'm going to rent one myself, and I'm most likely going to buy one, although I'm not crazy about the pricing for it. But I feel like I just gotta have it. Although with all ground vehicles, I guess the rule of thumb is you really should buy it in-game. But if you're like me, live a little. Alright, so that's the main hall, which looks impressive to me. Let's check out what else is on display today. Okay, and let's see what's behind door number 1. Looks like this is going to be the rest of the Crusader lineup. We've got the Star Runner that I can see back there, and it's also the rest of the Tumbrils, as we can see the Tumbril Cyclones are to the left. So let's start with a little bit about the Tumbrils. I'm not the best expert at Cyclones, but they are pretty much for your Halo fans, they're pretty much your Warthogs in-game. Very fast, very fun to drive, and heavily armed. The MT just came out over here, which, you know, is pretty devastating, but I believe you need a second person with you to operate the turrets and the missile launchers on it. However, the AA back here, I believe the driver can just operate those, so that might be something to consider, but it's also the most expensive Tumbril, I do believe. These are fun, but, you know, it is a ground vehicle as well, so, you know, I would say only splurge on it, you know, if it fits your budget to do so. Moving along, we've got the Star Runners on display. We've got 2 of them on display for some reason. I guess this one here has the black paint job. which you can buy the paints for, like with a lot of ships in the show. These are fun ships, definitely. They're basically built for data running, which that is not fully in the game yet, but that's why you get this server room in here. But they are capable cargo haulers, and they can haul vehicles as well too. Nothing as big as a tank, but definitely you can get Cyclones and rocks in here. So it's definitely kind of worth it to me, I think. You've got that Crusader look and feel on it. And there's lots of hidden gems in here to play around with in this ship, so definitely worth your time. Superior handling. The only drawback of these is it's just okay in combat, not great. So anyway, there's been a lot talked about with the Star Runner, so not really much for me to say about that. Obviously, I think it's a good addition to any hangar, and if it fits your budget, I suppose the price is okay, not great. I never really liked the way the Cyclones look for some reason. That's just me, though. And it feels like the Star Runner is asymmetrical just to be asymmetrical, but that's another story. Alright, looks like we're going to have to talk about MISC now. I've been critical of MISC not really fitting this event, but they do have some compelling options, so let's talk about it. Starting with the Freelancer MISC here. Freelancer is definitely known as a cargo vessel within the verse, but this MISC version is a formidable missile boat. It is loaded with missiles, I think about 30 to 40 of them. And it's got stronger defensive turrets, so if you got to go into battle with a Freelancer, this is the one to do it in. And right now, it's pretty compelling. There's nothing that really compares to the amount of missile payload this thing carries. So definitely worth a look. Not sure about a buy though. Okay, here we've got the Reliant Tana, which is the fighter version of the Reliant series. These have transforming wings, so I've kind of always liked them for that. It's kind of a nice gimmick, but they were never really great ships. This one's probably the cream of the crop of the Reliance. It's got, you know, full cabin, 2 bunk beds, does it have a chalet? It's got a chalet, people. You know how I feel about chalets. Is that the toilet? Yes, okay. So it's got a chalet, so big plus there. And this is the cockpit where the pilots will sit. Like I mentioned, there's transforming wings, and it's got, you know, decent arms. It's kind of okay. I don't really prefer these in battle. Maneuverability is just okay. I mean, it's just okay, really. So I don't see why you should spend real world money on this. Although it looks cool. Alright, moving along. Oh. Alright. Well, let's talk about the Starfarer Gemini. I've been critical of the Starfarer for a while now. It's one of the older, larger ships, so it's, you know, kind of hasn't really aged very well. It's like a maze inside. You can get lost pretty easily in there. And it's a, you know, fueling refinery ship. But this one is the heavily armored one with better turrets and arms on it, so if you're looking to get a Starfarer, this is probably the one to get, and the pricing is pretty decent for a large ship. Let's see if we can actually find our way inside this thing. You can see the huge fuel tanks back here. Hopefully it's well lit, because I always get lost when I'm inside one of these. But one nice thing about these is you can do cargo running with them as well too, so yeah, it's not bad if you're looking for a large ship. I think it goes for 300, so that's probably one of the cheaper ones for a ship this size. It's just not my cup of tea. Is that the... Wow. The docking collar there. Anyway, I'm not going to bother to go into the bridge. You guys can rent this one if you'd like. Starfarer Gemini. Don't buy it. Okay, looks like we got a standoff here. I'm guessing these guys are fighting over that NPC. And she's probably like, come on guys, let's go! Alright, I have a bad habit of trying to narrate in my mind what's going on with NPCs. Sorry about that. Alright, in the concept room, we have the Akira bike from Tumbril. It's actually not called the Akira bike, I just like to call it that. This is the Ranger TR, which is for all the Akira fans, if you're old enough to remember that anime. I'm not sure when this bike is actually going to come out. It's been in concept for quite some time, but I think it'd be pretty cool to have in a verse. I believe it goes for 40 bucks. If you have 40 bucks to spare, I guess you could spend it on this, but I think it'd probably be better spent on something else, even though I think it's cool. Okay, so Crusader has the Ares, Ion, and Inferno that's available for sale right now. They're future flyable. These ships have experimental weapons on them, so it should be able to help them take down larger capital-sized ships, although I think in reality, I really can't see a fighter holding up to something like an Idris or a Javelin. But, you know, it's all in the marketing, I suppose. It's probably more likely going to be able to take down ground targets faster. Anyway, these are pretty expensive, but I suppose they're going to have the maneuverability that Crusader is known for. And as you can tell, they have the thrusters that the Star Runner has, so definitely a Crusader fighter. But I don't know if I can justify the $220 purchase. Maybe if you have a pretty decent CCU option, that might be something you can do to buy it at a lower price, but I don't know. I don't know enough about this one to recommend it, but I know I really don't like the price. So I think for me, I'd probably say, why don't you save up for it in-game? Thanks for joining me today for this look at Invictus. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like the video. That really helps me out a lot. Also, I'm giving away a Nomad starter pack, so all you need to do is be subscribed and leave a comment to be entered for that. Thanks again, and I hope we'll see you next time.